What? Ah!
No.
You do most of the talking, I'll just do the confirmations.
Good.
I'll be like,
I agree.
yeah, that's about right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds about right, yeah. Hey guys, what's up? So this is our very first episode of Storytime Saturday, and we are going to tell the story of how we met.
Alright, so before we begin, I'm gonna have to let you guys know that I might be doing majority of the talking, mainly because this has been an ongoing debate between Trevor and I because he never gets the details right. Okay, maybe
parts of it, yeah. It's the timeline.
Yeah, exactly.
The timeline, I don't know why my timeline is horrible with this.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try my best to allow him to fill in on the details, but I'm gonna have to set it up.
Once upon a time.
Alright, so we actually met almost 7 years ago in school. So him and I both took a math class that neither of us actually had to take, and we both have our own story as to why we ended up in a class that we didn't have to take, but I'm not really gonna get into that. Maybe another time in the future if you guys are really curious. But you know, every time Trevor and I talk about, you know, how we started talking, we cannot pinpoint that moment. For some reason, we just know that we just happened to be two friendly people who would talk, you know, before class, during the break, and after class. And the ironic thing about it is that we didn't even sit next to each other in class. We in fact sat on the opposite ends.
Opposite ends, yeah.
And yeah, like I do not know how we started talking, but we did.
I can only imagine that it had something to do with, you know, like test preparations. Cause I know that, like, cause we would always get to school, like I would head to school straight from work. So I would usually always get there before class, like half hour, 45 minutes before class. And sometimes you were there early too. So we would meet up, you know, and we would sit, they had these couches outside of our class. So we would just kind of sit and you'd be like, oh, we used to get practice tests. And I know that we used to talk about, you know, what did you get for this, or how did you do, or how did you think about these questions, all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So I know that we did talk along those lines. I don't know, like you said, how we first started talking.
Yeah, I really don't know. And you know, we were only friends in school. We didn't hang out outside of school.
No.
And we actually had that class for a whole year. We stuck it out even though we didn't need to be there, but basically that's how it started. Was we met in class, we were friends throughout that time, throughout that whole year that we had that class together. And I'm pretty sure you added me on Facebook. We were Facebook friends at some point during that year.
I think actually I first added you on BBM, no?
No, I'm pretty sure it was Facebook first. See guys, he doesn't know the details still. Okay.
I do know I added you on BBM though.
You did,
I don't know if it was
but
first.
you know what? I actually took screenshots of the old Facebook messages because I was able to retrieve them. And I think you added me on Facebook, and like I said, nothing too much to it. He would message me about tests and stuff like that, and you know, if I've studied, and I remember he did ask me for my BBM, and I gave him my PIN, but he never messaged me.
And she has that in the book that she made too, that request.
Yeah, if you guys...
Because it must have been Facebook, because I think I messaged you or I asked you through Facebook, you know, do you have BBM, and if so, what's your PIN? So I think you're right, I think I did.
I am right, I don't know what... See, a debate, still a debate. If you guys watch our DIY gifts video, there's a reason why. I think I explained it in the video as to why I made him that book, and still it's not useful because he still doesn't know how the details went down. But anyways, so after that whole year of having that class together, we didn't keep in touch over the summer because we didn't really have each other's numbers. I think at some point he actually deleted that Facebook account, and again, no contact through BBM or anything like that. And
we weren't really friends outside of school.
We were not friends.
Like, we didn't hang out, like,
no.
We didn't talk, we didn't do any of that stuff. It was just strictly school related.
Yeah.
So.
And we actually had, like, we both had our own different lives. Like, you know what I mean? And and honestly, just to look back to that time, there's just no way we would have worked out as a couple either. We were just two very different people, had different lives, and it just wouldn't have worked out. But it's just interesting that we ended up meeting, you know, where we didn't even need to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyways, fast forward, after the summer had passed, so we had the class together for that whole year, summer passes, and I actually end up getting a new job at Banana Republic. And it would have been like my first 2 weeks of getting that job and working there, and guess who I see at Banana Republic?
Yeah, I stopped in there to get some clothes for work, and I grabbed some stuff and I went to the fitting room to try them on, and I came around the corner and just like face to face, and as soon as I saw you, I recognized, I knew who you were, even though we hadn't seen each other for you know, quite some time. It was just it was just a couple months. But yeah, again, nothing really much happened during that time that we saw each other at Banana Republic for the first time. I don't know, again, it was just one of those quick hi, hello, how you doing, and that's pretty much it. And fast forward 2 years later, I was actually, see, here's the funny thing. He sees me at Banana Republic during my first 2 weeks at Banana Republic. 2 years later, he comes back, and though that time that he came back, it was my last 2 weeks at Banana Republic, I had already given my notice because I was actually getting a new job in downtown. And again, who do I see? And the funny part about it is that because I knew it was my last 2 weeks at Banana, I was not paying attention, and at this time I was working up at Cash, and I was totally just like zoning out. I don't even care anymore because I knew I was done with this job. And I did not recognize Trevor only because I wasn't paying attention when he was waiting in line, and then up until he walked up to me, I was like, oh, it's Trevor, you know? But anyways, again, it was one of those like, hi, how are you? Nothing much happened, but tell them what you thought about it after you left. Well, even going back to the first time that I saw her, as soon as I saw her, in my head, I was just like, oh, you should ask her out. Like, not like to date, but like ask her out.
Yeah, just to catch up.
You know, I even said to myself, like, she'll say yes. She'll say yes, but I don't know, I chickened out. I didn't end up doing it. And then on the ride home, I was like kind of kicking myself because I was wanting to ask her to catch up and stuff, and then I was like, you're never gonna see her again. Like, what are the odds? Like, what are the chances you're ever gonna run into her? So then, like she said, fast forward 2 years later, I bump into her again.
And still didn't ask me out.
Same thing. I was just like, oh, you should ask her out.
Yeah.
You know, let's catch up. It's been even longer now. It'll be fun. And I didn't again.
Nothing.
So then
Nothing.
I was like, for sure, this is like, I just kind of blew it, right?
Yeah.
But carry on.
So actually what happened was, one day Trevor randomly had thought about me months after him and I last saw each other at Banana Republic. But you know what, you guys, I'm actually just gonna leave the story at that, because in our next video we want to tell you guys about how we ended up getting reconnected and how Trevor finally asked me out. So
it's a cool story, actually. To be honest with you, it's a cool story, so make sure you stay tuned.
Of course you think it's a cool story because it's about us.
It's a good story. It's a cool story. So that is next time on Storytime Saturday, so make sure you keep a lookout for that.
Yeah, so if you like this video, let us know, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that, and we'll see you next time. Bye!